Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June 15th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling great. My head hurts a little bit, but that's probably because I haven't had a meal yet, like a meal. I've only been snacking, and it's a little late in the day for me. Also, confession, y'all, I am definitely one of those people who are not staying hydrated enough. Like, you know what I mean? I'm part of the problem. It's definitely me. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit of live ASMR or record or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm going to drink some water for you guys. I should definitely be having more hydration checks. But hey, hopefully you guys can help keep me honest. Guys, gals, MBs, please, 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 please. But yes, no, we're doing good. We're doing great. I got my ass back to work, so that was a plus in its own way. The new trash compactor has been built, so that's fun. They got it done quick, fast. There was they had to come through and actually do a bit of caulking and sealing. You know, just using the little caulk gun, filling up some holes, and that went pretty well. It only took them like an hour or two. And actually, I gotta say, this was a nice little dub for your boy. A coworker came through. Actually, it's a coworker too that I'm like, I can be a little bit hit or miss with. Like we're friends, but sometimes they can annoy me. But essentially, they came through and they talked to the people who are fixing the compactor, installing it, whatever. Because this is like another set of people who are doing this. And he asked me, he's like, "Hey, so you know that cardboard compactor, right? Could you do some caulking and sealing on this one? Because it's literally leaking on my guy Isaiah over there. Like, it's just raining on him." And that's true. Like that is something that I endure. I get a little bit of the outdoors because of how the trash compactors are just like literally glued to the warehouse. Like, that's just how it works. I try not to complain. It's a living. And so we'll see how this works. There might still be some leaks, but even so, the guy came to me and said, "Hey, if it's still leaking, you can call for another service report and we'll come out and fix that for you for sure." I was like, "Oh my gosh, Rumpke, they really coming through. That's awesome." Rumpke is the local monopoly of trash guys in this area, this region of America. So yeah, that's the personal news. Things are going well. Also, I gotta add, today was like a good day of like conversation. It was nice. Like, it's nice when I can get into grooves with people and you just have a good talk. That's something that I hope never gets old to me. I know there are definitely some times where I can be very isolated and I don't want to be social, but I can definitely tell man, it has been a couple weeks, since I've actually been around people, interacting with people. And even so, it's just work interactions or digital interactions, but still that stuff, I definitely hold it in a special place in my heart. I know people are like, "Oh, if it's something that you're seeing or doing online, it doesn't matter." And I'm very anti that. I don't care if I'm just texting a person. I don't care if I'm FaceTiming. I don't care if I'm just watching snaps or exchanging memes. I think all of these things are important. These kind of dialogues are things that help me compile a memory of someone, even if it's not in the physical corporeal sense. So yeah, that's where we're at on this Thursday, my favorite day of the week. Yeah, I feel like we're in a good place, good spot. The food corner, it was PF Chang's in a bag. We had General Chang's chicken. I gotta say, that is one of the lower tier things to get. Any of their breaded chicken is bad. It's not good. But you can kind of whip it if you do enough sauces and seasonings, and some soy sauce goes a long way. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's the foods. I got a burp. There it is. I'm sorry. Oh gosh, what a scuff podcast. What a scuff production I'm giving you guys on a daily basis. But I love you so much. You guys really are my besties. If you're listening, and even if you're just not, even if you're just a clicker and you haven't even made it this far, I love you. You're my guy. You're my gal. Okay? Okie dokie. Okie dokie. All right, let me get my break. I'm sorry. I'm stalling. I'm playing for time. I don't know what I'm doing. actually, to continue the blog, I've really been digging Street Fighter 6. I haven't been playing. I know I'm the worst kind of gamer. I'm a spectator. But man, I've been really digging watching people play tournaments and just fight and fight and fight and do cool Street Fighter stuff. So, in addition to any news you want to talk about, feel free to come up and talk to me about Street Fighter. I'm ready. My body is ready. My heart is ready. Okay? All right? Please. Hadouken! Okay. On that note, let's talk some news from the Japan Times. 2 dead after shooting at self-defense forces gun range in central Japan. A self-defense force member was arrested Wednesday after allegedly killing 2 other personnel with a rifle at a ground self-defense force shooting range in the city of Gifu. Another victim was seriously injured. So this is a really tragic, unfortunate situation. This was an 18-year-old male suspect. He was a new recruit, and I'm really not trying to be like stereotypical here, but in a lot of the times I've seen any kind of like shooting, like mass thing like this, there's always a sense of like, okay, I did the thing, it was messed up, and I'm immediately on the spot saying, yep, that's me, man. You're not gonna. I don't need to call a lawyer. I did it. You know I did it. Like he literally saying there's no denying that he had shot the victims. Like telling that, like I imagine to, the police or whatever. Like that's crazy. It's just not something that as an American I would see and do and go, oh no, like I'm gonna, even if I did the crime, I'm trying not to do the time. I'm gonna hire my fucking lawyer. It's public. It's free. I'm gonna just bring a link. I ain't saying shit. Fuck you. You got a good cop, bad cop me. At least give me some fucking canes with extra sauce. Something. Like, I'm not telling you shit. But no, obviously this is really fucked up. I'm sorry. This incident marks the first fatal shooting at an SDF facility in nearly 40 years. So it's been a long time. I mean, I've said this before. Actual like gun violence in Japan is something that's very few and far between, just because of how their laws are set up. But the 3 victims are a 52-year-old man and 2 25-year-old men. All 3 were transported from the range to a hospital following the shooting. The 52-year-old and one of the 25-year-olds later died. The suspect said his target was the 52-year-old instructor, but that he shot the first shot at a 25-year-old member next to him because he was obstructing his line of sight. So they haven't said the motive. That hasn't been released or is not known, but it's seemingly between his relationship between the instructor and him. This guy has not, he's literally a green recruit. He's new. Maybe there was some kind of beef, animosity there. I'm obviously speculating, but yeah, I mean, to do this kind of thing just seems so intense. And then knowing that what is going to happen, you know what I mean? Now I don't know the identities of anyone involved. Usually that's something that is not like easily released from like Japanese media or like the government, the state, whatever. I don't know how you would describe it. But, if there are any more details, I would, definitely love to get back on here and cover it. I could make my whole spiel about how, there are some people who are going to use this shit as an example. Like, well, see, there's shootings everywhere, blah, 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 blah. But I don't feel like doing that today. You've heard that spiel from me before in terms of how I am against that thought and theory that at the end of the day, these statistics do not fucking lie, that these would be fewer and far between if we just eliminated these for the gym pop and then said, okay, these select people do get to have it. But what about my guns? What about my freedom? It's in our constitutional DNA. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that today. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. I'm not that kind of content creator, really. Well, you can just move along. Let's talk about some more news. All right. From the AFP, they hated her. Russia jails Navalny ally to 7.5 years. An ally of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was sentenced Wednesday to 7.5 years in prison on extremism charges as Moscow cracks down on dissent during its military campaign in Ukraine. Excuse me. Lila Chanysheva, 41 years old, was sentenced in the city of Ufa, the capital of the central Bashkortian, or no, Bashkortostan, Bashkortostan Republic. We did it. I don't care if I'm wrong. I tried. Boom. Where she headed Navalny's regional headquarters. I really wanted to cover the story because it feels like the way the media has been moving this week and how it's going to move in general. Someone like this is just going to like literally fall through the cracks. So I saw the story, I read it, and I just kind of felt a way about it. Like literally they didn't even say her name at the top of the headline. It had to be about Navalny first. And then you see like through this filter, oh, this is why this Chanysheva person matters. But at the end of the day, this is a story that is happening to a lot of people in Russia. In terms of like, if you go to protest, if you go to show dissent, you will immediately get smacked down with these kind of charges. And they make an example out of you. And it's so fucked up. Once again, I will make the distinction and understanding that this isn't me trying to single out Russia for doing things like this. I think just censorship in general gets my goat. I don't care if it's us who do it in the US. I don't care if it's fucking France. I don't care if it's fucking Russia, China, whoever. We might cover some of that later in the week. You know what I mean? I'm teasing you a lot this week. I'm sorry. I can't help it. But it is one of those things where it just makes me so sad that people are literally not getting the opportunity to say, look, what you're doing is wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, censorship bothers me. I think it bothers a lot of people. I think it's a very human thing to just not want to be restricted in that way. Like, once you get a taste of the freedom of expression, it is very hard to like withhold that, restrain that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously within reason. I think you should not be allowed to say fire in a fucking crowded building. That makes sense. But it's one of those things where you should be able to voice opposition. That to me is something that I do hold sacred. Surprise, I'm a podcaster. But I do think it's important. And I don't care what your ideology is. It's one of those things where I always look at it as this is a huge L. I think one of the sweetest deceptions that as the US has, America has, is that they give you this kind of quote unquote freedom, but then it's all in this kind of pen that just doesn't allow you to actually have any effect. And I think that is something that every superpower should strive for. I think once you're doing that as a nation state, you are really winning. Like, no one's stopping you if everyone's just kind of silently supporting and closing and locking the door themselves. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I wanted to talk about this. They referred to this person as like Navalny in a skirt. Navalny is a very big player in the scene, or at least he was for a time. At one point, even running against Putin himself, which you got to have some big brass ones to fucking do that, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, he's been doing a lot of jail time and is set to be doing even more, which is very sad. But for Chanysheva, she swapped a successful career to literally work for his political office, Navalny's political office. And, in this way, she's definitely paying a price. And this is someone who's like literally trying to beg to the court, like, yo, could you at least give me a chance to like have a baby? Like, just shit like that. Like, she's like, I haven't done anything wrong. Like, what the fuck? At the end of the day. And I agree. I do think this shit is fucked up. Obviously, I will definitely say things that, sometimes could get me labeled as a tanky or whatever. But it's only because this is my attempt to try to really get the full perspective and understanding of a situation. I don't just want to come into it like, oh, I'm an American who just believes in America and America's right. Like, no, I'm just not that kind of guy anymore. Like, I have grown as a person, so I do try to look at things from all the angles I can. And so yeah, but at the same time, I still want to root for the people who are just saying, hey, what is happening is wrong. I don't like it. You should be allowed to say that. You know what I mean? I do think that is, once again, a beautiful thing about being an American. That is that we get to do that. So yeet yeet on that point, brother. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. It's a messy spaghetti episode. I'm sorry. What they all are. What am I saying? From the BBC, from BBC News, Greece boat disaster leaves at least 78 dead and 100 missing. At least 78 people have died and more than 100 have been rescued after their fishing boat sank off of southern Greece. But survivors have suggested as many as 750 people may have been packed on the boat, with reports of 100 children in the hold. So this is just a very sad migrant crossing situation. From what I've kind of gathered here, is that Greece has said, at least by their accounts, that they noticed this vessel. They attempted to hail the vessel and ask them for if they needed assistance. They say that the boat said no, and then they proceeded to they were actually trying to go to Italy. And in the process, their boat had some kind of problems, was suffering some kind of failure or potentially sinking at that point. And at that point, then they did need assistance, and it was kind of like a bit of too little too late, and that's where we are, where we're at. Now, in terms of that report, when I initially heard it, I was screaming foul. Like, I was just like, this doesn't sit with me. I do not believe it. So, at the end of the day, this is a bit of speculation. It's a bit of, just kind of what I've been reading. But weeks ago, we talked about the Greek pushback situation that had happened. And essentially, the situation that was literally caught on fucking camera, where there were migrants who were trying to cross, who were trying to get into Greece. They had gotten into Greece. These men in balaclavas, they were in their fucking shiesties, literally take this group of people, men, women, children. You could say escort, but that is a generous word. They literally throw these people onto a boat. They throw this boat out into the middle of, these ocean waters, these international waters, and they are then put on like a dinghy type of situation and are forced to wait for Turkey to come and pick them up and then handle it from there. This is a very dramatic ass situation. This is something that Greek government people, they were like saying, oh, we weren't doing this. This isn't what we do. But literally, this is y'all on camera. So no, I don't believe you guys when you say, oh, we were just trying to give assistance. Even if that is the case, I still understand why these people who know this, who know about this pushback, who know about the situation, quickly said, no, don't help us. No, we're fine. Please don't come here, because they know what you guys are going to do. You're going to apprehend them and throw them away like they're fucking trash. Like, I completely understand if that was a sentiment here. If you're on this boat, that is your fear. You didn't get into the situation to get sent back, and you definitely didn't get sent back into a potentially shittier, worse situation. Like, no, I don't believe it. It is hard for me to believe. It presses the imagination for moi. I'm sorry. But I mean, and that being said, even if they were declining, at the end of the day, your guys' better instinct should kicked in if you were literally seeing a problem here, and you should have helped. You should have assisted. I don't know. To me, that's a no-brainer too. Like, when I hear that, when I read that, I'm like, yeah, no, I agree. So, it's a bothersome situation no matter how you're slicing it. I don't care if you're Team Greece here or not, whatever. Also, I hate in a lot of the conversation, there's so much talk about the smugglers. We're really trying to stop the smugglers. If we stop the smugglers who are really doing the situation, misleading these people, guiding these people into such dismay and peril, we really are fixing the problem. Like, no, you're not. You were you're repackaging the situation that you want to happen, which is keeping out illegal people. That's what you want. Illegal people. I should put that in quotations. Like, it's illegal because you do not want them past your borders. This is something that Italy is fighting for. This is something that Greece is fighting for. This is something that all of the more or less EU is fighting for, whether they say it loudly or they don't with their actions. And that's a big bother to me. Obviously, once again, I can't fucking talk. I live in America. We literally tried to build a wall with our dumb ass. So it's crazy. It's crazy that this is like an international problem. I cannot stress enough how much that bothers me as a human being. That like we can't get past shit like this. That like, oh, well, you're from there, and I don't like the cut of your jib, so don't cross this line. But we need you because like people are leaving and we need as many people as we can. But like we want our people. We want our people. We don't want to be quote unquote replaced. Yeah, it makes me fucking sick. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm dragging you around through my whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. But we got one more thing to cover and then I'll let you go. I promise. Scout's honor. I was never a scout, but you can believe me. Ooh. Ooh-wee. All right. Our last story comes from the Daily News. And I gotta say, if you looked at the thumbnail, I'm sorry. I did kind of clickbait you a little bit, but let's just go through it. Let's just work out this story together, okay? Let's get to the end together. Walk with me. Talk with me. Las Vegas police thwart mass shooting threat hours before Stanley Cup final. Okay, so yes, you saw man holding Stanley Cup. That was a golden night. Las Vegas Golden Knights. They won the Stanley Cup. Okay, give me points for that, all right? Please, give me points. Give me bars because that's sports news, all right? I'm serving you, all right? I think, and this is off the dome, I do not know. They played against the Panthers, yes? All right. Panthers are Florida, which if that's the case, if that is true, how is that a problem for hockey? Hockey fans, please let me know if you're out there listening, if you're a listener from, the hockey variety. That seems odd. These are warm places on ice. They're winning. Man, that sounds like Moneyball to me, but I have no idea. Anyway, go Golden Knights. They won. This story is not about them though. That's not why I got here. A possible mass shooting at Tuesday's Stanley Cup finale may have been thwarted by Las Vegas police, who arrested 33-year-old Matthew DeSavio after he made online threats to commit a massacre. Okay, let me read this quote to you. I'm coming for you guys tonight, and I hope you got every expletive police officer in Vegas Golden Knights there to defend you. This motherfucker posted that shit on Facebook. What? Like, it's crazy how, like, people shift into manifesto mode. Social media has just made that way too easy. Like, y'all fucking yourselves up. And honestly, good, great. They do reference a story that took place in 2017, this is a good little flashback corner, if you will. It's a story that I've heard about, really crazy, really devastating. But in October of 2017, a gunman staying on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas killed 61 people and injured hundreds more when he opened fire on a Route 91 Harvest Music Festival taking place below. That remains the largest mass shooting in U.S. history. That shit was crazy. This dude, came to the hotel. Like, I think he was like a gambling man. He was like going to take all his grievances out on the hotel that he was staying at, like the casino. They lost a lot of money, whatever. I might be getting that part wrong, whatever. But literally, the concierge or whatever, the people who are helping, like the people like who help you move your shit up into the hotel room, they were like helping him move his weaponry into his room. He sets up. This shit is like some Smoking Aces type shit. It's crazy. And he does this fucked up shit. So this Matthew DeSavio guy was like, I'm on the same wave. I'm on the same tip. I'm going to go off. I don't know what his motives were. Outside, he just wanted to do it. But, let's see. Las Vegas Metro Police were reportedly dispatched to a business where DeSavio was making the threats around noon Tuesday and apprehended the suspect. Someone at the business is said to have had a long history of being harassed by the suspect. So let's read a little bit more. Cops had also been contacted by someone concerned with postings DeSavio made to Facebook about conducting a mass shooting at T-Mobile Arena. Just letting you know this is where I'm gonna be doing some fuckery. That's crazy. The suspect reportedly asked police if they'd seen his Facebook posting when he was taken into custody. He's like, hey, did you see my shit? Messages referred to the 2017 incident that I referred to earlier as just a preview. So I'm glad he did not get to make this happen. Who knows what he was going to fucking, do, weaponry rise. Like I said, much of the I don't know. And then the DeSavio is now facing charges, including making a false threat regarding an act of terrorism. I don't know how it's false. Like, that seems weird to me. And aggravated stalking. So just being a creepy asshole, more or less. But crisis averted, I suppose. And I guess, in the media, we're going to give you like some, back pats for that. But at the same time, you look at that story and it's like, wait, give the concerned citizen who said, hey, guys, have you seen, like, this shit's crazy. Because he was literally saying, I'm going to go to the T-Mobile arena and just do this shit. So, yeah, I mean, that's America, baby. Woo, but yeah, go Golden Knights. I love hockey. That's the news. That's all I got for today. I thank you so much for putting up with me. If you'd like to support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/News. You do get shout outs once a month. That's for my newsies. I plug your name. I plug the project or thing you're doing, you're on. And if you just want to be a silent donator, I appreciate that too. I will leave your name in the dark. I appreciate that. I just, link and build. That's all I'm trying to do here. Support the effort. But free ways to support the effort, obviously just being a cool listener. Talking about it to your friends, maybe that would be crazy, but you could do it. Also, I do love communication, like I said at the top of the episode. So feel free to contact me. I got a Facebook, I got a Twitter. The podcast does. If you want to email the podcast, you want to do it boomer style, I'm here for it. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.